Well, hello, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to our Friday coffee chat. I have my coffee.
I have
Yeah.
mine.
I
It's
learned,
your cup that you gave me.
funny enough, about this Friday morning. A lot of Friday mornings, Jenny and I will wake up and we'll forget that we are going live,
Yeah.
and then I'll be like, I'll message her, and she'll be like, "What are you talking about? What for? What?" Like, we're going live in a few minutes, but I forget too. So that's what's kind of funny.
I know it is because I was sitting there. Why is he sending me that streaming link? Then I realized, oh, it's Friday. It's always Friday. I
Well,
was tired yesterday, but we did some really good work yesterday on the even that we had only a few. Look how much that we really got accomplished through that meditation. And it's really not meditation, it's just going deep inside of learning the breath work, is all. So,
yeah, I wanted to kind of chat about that a little bit because I'm just sharing the video here real quick. But one of the things it's hard for me to verbalize sometimes because people just think, "What the heck is he talking about?" But
I get it. I say the same thing. It's hard.
it's there's all these, like, how do I say it, subconscious emotions going on within you that are really just an energy, and
And breath is just energy.
like the one girl yesterday, I was like, go back to that time
Yeah.
when you felt betrayed or whatever. I can't remember the circumstances of it, but and then go into that feeling in your body, not necessarily the situation, the feeling in your body, the part where you maybe felt heavy or felt like somebody was doing this to you, or
I've felt that before. You've felt that before, like this, like somebody's close in your
right.
throat.
Right. And so then you use that opportunity to breathe through that feeling and with the love or energy or whatever you want to kind of, because all it is energy. And
Hmm.
you'll start feeling that energy break. So, or change, I guess is a better way to put it. So,
Hmm. Well, but also it really is a block.
right.
It is giving you your body is indicating to you there's a block that you're not breathing correctly. It's not the rhythm of your breath is out. And the more people can become identifying that to be aware of what's going on, they can change it. But you can't change anything unless you're aware of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, but you gotta kind of, that's why we're always like invited in.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
the world is not geared towards inviting it in. It's geared to
No,
things away.
to resist, resist, resist. It is, I mean, I look back, it's been 9 months that we've been doing this because that with the Jeff Marr video, it just ticked over to 9 months. And I thought, 9 months? That was crazy. We've been doing this for 9 months.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, good stuff. I just wanted to give a shout out to somebody I know that's watching. Shannon, how are you? How's Casadega? Hope everything's going well. So,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, it's been hi Melissa. So, yeah, it's been a while. So, but it's been a fun ride. I mean, well, I would say mostly a fun ride. There's times there where we were trying to answer all the emails or trying to get, but now it's getting easier. And
Well,
so,
yeah, 'cause I'm not all stressed out. I was giving out those emails in less than 24 hours. I mean, I did 15,000 emails.
well,
God. I mean, I look at that and I've got all of them. You've got them. And then we've met people, but wild and crazy straight. I mean, I don't want to be a celebrity. I can tell right now. That's too much work. That's too much work. You know that as well as I did. I mean, I've never experienced anything like that. So I kind of laugh. I'm glad I experienced it though, because the other day I was laying in bed and I thought, you know what? I remember when I wanted to be an actress and I wanted to be so famous and everything. And I was laying there and I thought, thank God I didn't do that.
no, just a chill, fun life where we're experiencing doing fun things with the people we care about and love. So,
Absolutely. And they get to do the things we want to do. I mean, we're
it's
very
like
blessed.
I was always frustrated because I've been a content creator for what now 14, 15 years. And I couldn't figure out why I could never hit that benchmark where I had all these views, and it would just make me angry. And then I realized it doesn't really matter as long as I'm having fun.
That's right. It
So,
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have a large group that's following you. I mean, I had some interesting things because what we say and what we talk about, it really does shake people up. I had today on Facebook, I was talking about I just don't believe into the two parties, the red and the blue, Republicans and Democrats. And I said, that's a game. And I made this really, not long, but it was very clear what I felt. And this guy came back and he said, you're privileged. And I thought, privilege? But when he responded back and he told me, he said, privilege, people don't really understand privilege. And I thought, well, I've always thought I've understood privilege. But he was talking about the privilege of my mindset, that I wasn't getting involved with everything in this world, that was a privilege to be able to know the two differences. And I never heard privilege said that way.
Yeah, usually it's said as a condescending or
it's very condescending, and like you're privileged. And I got offended by it at first. I thought, I'm not, in privilege, I'm in truth. And he came back, he said, most people don't understand privilege. And I thought, well, I was an English teacher. I knew what privilege meant. So, but what he did is he changed it up. And I thought, I like the way he did it. And I thanked him for that.
Well, I had a dialogue with a lady yesterday on social media, and we were disagreeing with each other, but I have to say we were both respectful, and there was no like name calling or any of that kind of stuff. And so I really, actually at the end, I was like, well, you have a wonderful summer. And she said, you too. And it was, there was a point where we realized that neither one of us is going to agree with each other. So we just kind of ended the conversation, but it was a respectful dialogue, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah. And I mean, don't you remember, oh my God, in 2016, when the elections with Trump and Biden, I've never seen people go and slash and beat people up with their words on Facebook. I couldn't even stay on Facebook because of that. It was so ugly. People couldn't just speak their truth, and then somebody would come back and just rip them to pieces. And I thought, I can't live in that. I almost quit Facebook because of that, because it was so nasty during 2016. And I thought, I'm not going to go through that again with this other election. I'm not involved in it. I don't want to get involved in it. I think people are losing their whole perspective on what it is. So, yeah.
Harmful to each other. Now, the world is very divisive right now. So I understand it on some level, because there is if you say anything, I remember probably about a year ago, I talked about peace, and I got attacked for talking about peace, and I thought, but this is also because within each person right now, people are angry. They're frustrated, and they're over it, so to speak. And so it's
they're angry and they're attacking the wrong people.
Yeah.
You should be, if you're angry, you should be going to your government, your, congressman, all of that. They don't. Boy, I do. I go to my congressman all the time. I leave messages with them. I said, do something, that's what we elected them for, but they're not doing their job. So all the people are attacking each other. That's what the job is to make people hate each other, so they will create war.
Yeah.
Inner war. The inner war first starts, and you know that. Once you get that inner war.
And that's where it comes back to what we were talking about in the beginning, talking to your inner world.
Yes.
It's there is an inner world that's happening, and it is a mother effer. Sometimes it's really angry, and it's not just angry about politics. It's angry about
everything.
It's when you were 16 and you missed that one opportunity to ask somebody out, or you got rejected when you were 21, or you didn't get that job that you really wanted. There's something in there that where you feel like the world is working against you. Right. There. So.
Well, I remember when I wanted to be a cheerleader. And when I got into high school, my freshman year, I was a cheerleader. And I know this sounds crazy, but I remember you have to go up first. You have to get the judges to agree that you can even go out, and then you go out to the audience or the people or the students. And I didn't get it when I was sophomore, and it went all over me. And I made this decision. Then I will never do that again. I'll never put myself into. But then now that I look back at it, I'm so glad I didn't get it, because I didn't like rain. I did not like snow. I didn't like to be cold. And those girls were always on, they're on the field or they're in the basketball. And I always got to dress up and go to the sock hop, fresh. They looked horrible. I mean, I remember that one night I was in homecoming and it was so cold. They had to come and get some of us and take them to a house because we already had frostbite from our shoes. I said, I'll never do that again. I'm so glad. I remember saying to God, I am so glad I missed that. Thank you for getting me out of that. Now, if, being at 16, I was very upset about it. I think I was 14, 15, whatever it was. But I was very upset. God, I would not have done well. I know I wouldn't, because I'm not a good weather girl. And these cheerleaders hair was run, they were in rain, they were in snow. And I said, that's it. That's not worth my time.
Well, there's a lot of times like that we've had that in our life where we're just upset about something. I mean, I've had relationships that end, and when I look back at the relationship, that person wanted kids.
Yeah.
And that's not something I've ever wanted. Not really. It's and so I would have been putting them, it would have been unfair to me and unfair to them.
Yeah, it would be.
I kind of look at that and think that, if I would have, because then you get into this argument, well, you have to compromise or you have to do this. And I'm like, that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
Especially at 50. So, and I had somebody.
Absolutely at 50. I can't imagine.
So I had somebody recently, we were just talking and they were like, you don't want kids? And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, I'll raise them. I'm like, that makes absolutely zero sense. Like, your kids are supposed to, you want to raise them as a couple.
Right.
So no, but I really want to be with you. No, you don't, because I don't want kids and you want.
But that's very powerful, that you know who you are. That's what a lot of problems happen. People don't know who they are. I was sold on the American dream. I wanted 2 children, 2.5 children. I wanted to follow that quest of the American dream. And I remember when that dream fell apart. Literally, it fell apart right in front of me, with my family, with everything we had. And it was almost, there was no words to see the truth of what had happened, that I had believed in a belief or a dream that really wasn't real for me. And I was always trying to find that dream, and I was always seeking that dream. Well, that dream ended, and I had to create my own dream, which it was the best thing that ever happened to me, is to get out of that situation and really look at what really was going on in my life. I started really gaining my truth within me and getting stronger in who I was, because I was no longer in that dream, that illusion. That's a dream. It's an illusion. No, I bet you, if we sat down and we started surveying people, most of them are in those those illusions of what they don't even know.
I think we could ask them the question, like, where have you compromised in your life? Now, I'm not saying you don't compromise in a relationship, because you do. I mean, however, there are certain things that are non-negotiables that people have went against and said, well, I really care about this person, so I went against that.
Yeah.
But if it's something that really would make you unhappy, I mean, really, if you got really honest with yourself, make you unhappy, then why would you? Because there's things that I say that I don't want to do, and then I found out later on I really do like them,
Yeah.
But it's that's where it kind of gets into kind of a hairy conversation. But if you get into it and you really
honest, and you got 2 honest people that are being honest about themselves and them. So yeah, it makes a difference.
So we've got a world of people that are not really aware or paying attention to what they really want. Like we had when our last night, when I asked when was the first time that you went against yourself and you really, really didn't want to do something, but you really did it. And they they couldn't even give me the answer at first, you know. And so then it really, they really started getting really more observant and self-aware, then they're like, well, this is what had happened.
Right.
And so that's where we're really stuck sometimes, because we have zero idea what is making us unhappy sometimes.
And we've settled to believe other things in our minds and our thoughts that are not even real.
Yeah.
And I see, and my whole thing was, you have compromised. I will never settle again against myself.
Right.
And a lot of my clients, friends, a lot of people don't like what I have to say. And what I say, are you sure you want me to tell you the truth? Or do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? And that was the best, when I started doing that, because most of the people said, well, no, I want to know what you feel. And I thought, no, you're not going to like it. So, well, you know that, I mean, I really, the guy that came here was very real. And what he said to me, I said, if I'm being really rough with you, he said, no, you're not being rough at all. But I've never had anybody call me out. He's 36 years old. And he had never, his parents, nobody ever called him out. He said, you called me out the first 24 hours, 3 or 4 times, and I would just look shocked. And I said, well, because I knew what you were saying was not your truth. So this is what good friends are about. I have a friend of almost 67 years, and she and I've had our arguments, Fran. She and I have really, we didn't even talk for almost 3 years. But one thing I can honestly say, and it's the same thing with you, I can say what I need to say, even if it holds us back, but we don't let it last very long. And that's a truth. And I'd much rather have a friend telling me the truth, even if it's the worst thing in the world they could ever tell me.
Yeah. And
I trusted them. I don't trust people when they're holding back. I don't trust that. So
yeah, I get it.
Well, you and I are very clear. I look back at our relationship. We've always been very clear about who we are. And if there's a problem, I pick up the phone or you'll pick up the phone. What are you feeling? How did you, this is what I felt. And we're very honest. But isn't that what real, true friendship is? The honesty between us. And I only have a few like that. And I had dinner with you all except for Fran. So
yes, Dr. Navarro. So Colette's always telling me that I hear Jeremy's voice before I go to bed, and I hear Jeremy's voice when I wake up in the morning, because I usually have videos or something like that on Facebook. And she's like, I feel like I'm married to you, dude, but you're not sleeping in the same bed with me.
But you are sleeping in your head. You're there in their heads. So yes. And it's nice to know that somebody's hearing us, because what we're talking about is the real truth. We're not sitting around and trying to, we think about this all the time. You and I never know what we're going to say. Never. Like this morning when you contacted me, it was like, where's he got that streaming thing? Then I went, oh my God, it's Friday. So I thought immediately, what are we going to talk about? We always have something to talk about. Always. I don't think we've ever been without, shocked or anything. I don't. We've always been very straight about each other. So I think that's why we're a good team. We are a good team. We don't do a lot of stressing about our scripts or anything, because we don't have one.
So Colette, by the way, Jenny and Colette and I have a joke about people that use the term doctor in front of their name, but they're not actually doctors. So we call them doctor, not doctor.
Yeah. I look back at that and I almost become a PhD myself. And then it just hit me. Why do I want to jump over other people's hoops? Because I've already done that as a graduate. Yeah. And I thought, I'm never going by. I had an opportunity to go to University of Kentucky as a PhD in social work. Yeah. Not going to do that ever again. That's not where I want to be. I've already had a degree. I might not have it behind my name, but I have got a lot of doctorate to that, because all of the work I've had to do on self. So. Well,
I've been thinking, it pops up in my head every once in a while. Should I just go get that ND? But then I'm like, good Lord, 3 to 7 years. But
I don't want to jump. Oops.
Colette has it because she used to be a hospital administrator, and it was
Wow.
for when she's meeting with doctors, medical doctors, she wanted to be able to have that credentialing. So, and it made sense for her career. But
Absolutely. You have to do what, but that's even getting out because what happened in the pandemic, a lot of doctors lost their respect. There was a lot of disgruntled people that trusted their doctors. I mean, I get it. Same thing about government. Same thing about healthcare. All of that has been disgruntled to people, and people have there's a bitter taste in their mouth.
yeah, I think. Well, I also think that the doctors and the nurses are exhausted, most of them. So they're the ones I talk to. They're just like, I became a nurse or a doctor to help people,
Right.
and this isn't what I'm. Since the pandemic, especially the pandemic, where they were being yelled at by different.
And then they were watching things that it was going against their profession.
Yeah.
A lot of nurses and doctors walked out because they couldn't fathom what they were really seeing. I think all of us, I think and I think it's time that we really start reflecting on the pandemic, because this is what's going to make us stronger, because we saw what happened.
When you think about I remember 9/11.
Oh my God, yeah.
Watching the World Trade Center collapse more than once. I mean, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You think about the pandemic, and you would see pictures of like Chicago, like the Dan Ryan Expressway, completely empty.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, even in my own town, I went and drove down through Versailles, and there wasn't a car, there wasn't a person. All the shops were closed down. It was the weirdest feel. It was like a desert of a town.
Now, Florida, our roads were less traffic, but we still had people on the road. So because people
did not have. You felt really isolated, but I didn't feel bad about it, because I got to get some of the pandemic was great for me, because I didn't have that many clients coming in, and they weren't on the computer, but I really got to do a lot of things that I needed to look at, a lot of research. I did a lot of 4 years of research to see exactly what I was seeing and what I was experiencing was correct. And it was exactly what I thought. So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember Justin was like, this is like the perfect time for an introvert.
Yes, it was, because I'm an introvert, and it was great. And it was silence. Just total silence. I remember just looking on my couch, and watching people go to work. There was nobody going to work. There wasn't a sound of a car. It was a very interesting time.
Yeah.
I would like to know, and it'll be probably in the next 10 to 15 more years, they'll talk about the pandemic. And you hear that on Twitter all the time. Don't forget. I don't forget, because I remember how mad I was having to do a mask, having to, I remember I was standing in a liquor store, and I was getting not liquor, I was getting something else. I don't remember. And we had a line, and you're spoiled. Americans were spoiled because we were used to getting it fast, doing it. And then you're sitting in line forever, like getting a doctor's appointment. Don't have that. 10 years ago, you could have gotten in fast.
It helped me in a way because of the quiet and being more patient. And so I started looking at things and just started slowing down a little bit, because my life is usually go, 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 go. Now I'm kind of back in the middle of that go, 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 go. But it's I take, because I appreciate that time to be alone, I make sure I get time alone.
Right.
Like I was noticing, like I was just in Fort Lauderdale, and Damien wanted to go with me for the whole week, and I was like, I wanted to spend time with him, but I was just like, no, not the whole week. I said, come down the last weekend, that way we can spend it together and we can enjoy ourselves. But I wanted quiet time. I needed some time to myself, and so that's because I've just gotten so used to it through the pandemic, where quiet is a good thing. So
absolutely. Stillness. That's what we were talking about last night at the Soulful group. Stillness, because somebody asked us what I said. Stillness. Empty your mind. Nothing in your mind. and be peace. That's a different silence within. So I learned a lot just learning to turn my mind off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me just while we're chatting, I'm going to bring up our little website here, and
remember, June the 15th is our webinar this Saturday at 2 Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be another webinar, and you never know how many people are going to show up, but it's fun.
Absolutely. So I'm just pulling it up here. Well, we'll just go there first, and then we'll switch, and then I'll show so just so we've got our webinar this week, which is June 15th at 2 p.m. If you go on the website, mydivineinheritance.org, you register by clicking here, and then we make this pay what you value it at. So, and that confuses people, but it's really because they're just so used to being told what to pay. We have an average of, we've had people pay $5. The average person pays about $20 to $25. We've had people pay $200.
Yes.
But it's really that we do it that way on purpose because we don't want to block people from coming. And we want to give, and then individual sessions or any of our interviews. But then this is one thing that people, they go in here. We drop things in here that we think might be interesting for you. There's a meditation in here. There is a lot of free books and websites and things that she and I both use that'll be helpful to you. And then we have, I got to update this, but our next Soulful group is on the 17th, which is, when is that? Is that Tuesday? I have to look.
Tuesday.
It's next Tuesday. Okay. All right. So, well, today's the 14th. So yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, we've got one of those, and anyways, lots of good stuff. And if you can check out our most updated stuff here, you can go to my YouTube channel, and all the coffee chats are there. So yeah, but anyways, yeah. Thanks. So we got a couple more minutes. What did you want to chat about, just to kind of wrap up the show here?
Well, this next week I'm going to a place in Tennessee, and it's very secret. You can't go in with a camera. They don't want anybody to know the location. And it's water. And they called me from this Mars video, and they felt like it was very important for me to come and view what they have found. And I'll be taking Mary Pat, Jennifer, and Polly with me. Polly is new from the video. She came in, and she's from Lexington. So she's been coming over and helping me. And there's a real friend, and we all will be going in there to find out about this water. This water has got healing benefits. And I thought, this is going to be interesting. But we always get this opportunities. People contact us and want us to go there or do that. And we usually can. If we can, we do it. Because I want to know what's going on out there. So this will be, I'll talk about it when it's done.
By the way, Colette bought property in Kentucky.
Huh?
Colette that's watching, she just bought property in Kentucky.
Well, she needs to let me know when she comes in so we can all get together, because that's the fun thing about Kentucky.
I think it's closer to Corbin, and she bought like a mountain. Or like,
oh wow!
Or her land backs up to a mountain or something like that.
Yeah, you probably. Yeah, well, Kentucky. The gentleman that came in to see me, he was from Texas, and when he came in, he said, "This is beautiful." And we were going through a lot, a cold snap. Basically, he couldn't believe it. He said, "It's so nice, and it's fresh, and it's green, and everything." And I thought, yeah. Because he even looked at me and he said, I might even consider coming into Kentucky. And I thought, more than welcome. Come on in, So that's what we do. And, I want people to come to Kentucky. I love Kentucky. We got issues. Every state has issues. But I can tell you, you can feel the earth in here. You can feel the land. You feel it all. So I would invite anybody to come to Kentucky and venture in to see us.
Well, and her favorite part is the winter.
Yeah. I go to Florida, then I find Jeremy or whoever's there, and I go in there. I don't. I can take it for a little while, but I can't. I've got to go to the sun.
Well, everybody, have an amazing weekend, and we will see you next Friday. Much love.
Have a great one.
And this one. All right.